A place to belong. 89%. The epilogue for episode Persona 3. Let's get it. A few days after the case ends, I was feeling kind of like an empty husk. I mean, it had been a while since I'd been through anything like that. It wasn't just because it felt nostalgic, but, well, I remembered a lot of different things. Like how I didn't understand a lot of stuff back then.
Your pitching sucks. Stop throwing like that.
My pitching doesn't suck. Your catching sucks.
You all suck! You're small children!
Don't think you're all cool just because you got a good hit the other day.
What did you say?
As I'm watching the kids practice, I'm not particularly paying much attention. Just when I think things are getting peaceful, a squabble starts up. Well, it's a coach's job to settle things like this.
Hey, break it up. What's going on here?
Stay out of this, Junpei.
Coach Junpei, right? So, what's up?
He blames me because he can't catch.
It's because you got no control. Everybody knows it.
The other kids all stop practicing and gather around the argument. These kids have way too much energy and get into fights frequently, so I need to mediate this conflict in a mature, dignified way in order to be a good example. Children pick up on that kind of stuff, you know?
Hey, listen up. The most important thing in baseball is teamwork. No matter how good you might be alone, you'll never win a game by yourself. You can't play baseball if you're the only one on the field, right?
Of course not.
Right, well, that's just common sense. But if you keep putting the blame on other people, you're gonna end up all alone eventually. If you think the pitcher has no control, then you gotta try to work hard to catch anything, no matter what he throws your way. And if you think the catcher blows meaty chunks, try throwing balls that even the worst catcher can grab.
Blows meaty chunks.
If you both practice together like that, then everyone gets better and the entire team gets stronger. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that was awesome. Go me! I wonder if these guys will ever look back on these days and think that they never understood what was going on. I bet they will, just like me. I gave them a good talking to, and since this was a great place to end for today, I called today's practice over. As everyone says goodbye and goes their separate ways, one of the kids doesn't leave. Is that Goro? He looks a lot more humble than usual. Noticing slight changes in your players is one of the things that makes a great coach.
Hey, aren't you going home?
Junpei, do you have a girlfriend?
Oh no! Oh no, Junpei! What? What's he asking me that for all of a sudden? Sheesh, kids these days.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Hey, what's with the attitude? That's really rude, you know.
There's a girl I like, but she's gonna move away. I didn't know and we got in a fight.
Fight?
I thought we'd make up like we always do. Even when we get in fights, things always go back to normal in a few days. But when I heard she was transferring to another school, I got worried about what would happen if I couldn't make up with her.
Well, the answer here is obvious. You have to nut up and apologize to her. It doesn't matter if it's your fault or not. That'll fix everything.
That's so lame. I can't do that.
Lame, not lame. Is that your problem here? This isn't the time to care about looking cool. Not when it involves something you care about. If you and her end up going separate ways without telling her how you really feel, you're gonna regret it for a long, long time.
But what if we get in another fight?
Goro drops his eyes again. Well, that's this kid's bad habit. He acts all tough, but when things matter most, his timid side comes out. Aren't you the team's cleanup hitter? You gotta strengthen your resolve. I guess I better do the coach thing and encourage him. But the way Goro's hanging his head makes me a little uncomfortable deep down. Why? Because my own words are coming back to haunt me. Regretting not telling someone your feelings before you have to part, huh? Yeah. That grand slam I whacked in my dream, I could still feel it in my hands. And I got up on the platform for the MVP interview, but that time it ended before I could say it. But this time, when I still haven't answered his question, Goro peers into my face. Oh well, guess I need to strengthen my own resolve. I look at the empty outfield and picture myself in that dream.
If you get a hit, you'll be a hero. Are you gonna try for a grand slam?
Goro seems dazed for a second at my sudden enthusiasm, but his clouded face quickly breaks out into a bright smile and he's his old tough self again.
Grand slam. All right, I'll go do it.
Goro's going for a grand slam with his girlfriend, huh? I don't know if I should call him optimistic or if he doesn't really know what he's talking about, but at least it looks like I got through to him. In which case, I think it's time the ace slugger swings for the fences too.
All right.
After high-fiving Goro, I grab my stuff and run for the station. This time I won't oversleep. Ooh. The view from the pier matches an old memory of mine. The color of the sky, the ocean, the sound of the waves. Is this Labris or Aegis? I wonder. I heavily associate this spot with Labris now. I associate this music with Labris a ton as well. This is the first time in years I've come back to this place.
Whoa, this brings back memories. How long has it been since we were here? We were second years in high school, wasn't it?
It would be 3 years ago. It was the summer of 2009.
Oh, they're mixing some of the characters together. Okay, I'm here for it.
Only 3 years, huh? It feels more like 10.
A lot has happened since then.
I see. Now that I think about it, you haven't returned to Yakushima since then either.
We leave the beach and follow a woodland path. The virgin forest is filled with... Why is it called a virgin forest? Is filled with lush greenery, and the air is cool and clean. We're headed to the remains of the ergonomics research lab.
You want to go to Yakushima?
Yes, if possible, that is.
I don't believe there's anything left there aside from warehouses, though.
Yes, I understand that.
I guess I have no intention of preventing you from going there. But may I ask why?
I have wanted to go back for a while now. That was when my sister's case began, so I thought that now would be a good opportunity. I wanted to see for myself what led to my birth.
I think it's a good idea.
Yukari-san.
Isn't it normal to want to know about things like that? We're talking about your roots here.
I see.
Actually, I was just thinking about taking a vacation too. That battle from the other day was a lot more grueling than I imagined it would be.
As Yukari-san says, it truly was a fierce battle. Because I was severely damaged, my maintenance had to go on for a good deal longer than usual, and I spent a long time in my repair bay. That's why I'd been longing to feel the light of the sun. I'm unsure if Yukari-san knows that I feel this way, but she smiles.
Hey, I guess, why don't we go together? And it'd be nice if we could stay at your summer house, like we went to before, Mitsuru-senpai.
Though Mitsuru-san smiles knowingly, she readily agreed to our request.
The last time we lived together was back when we were roommates during our 3rd year of high school.
Oh my goodness, they were roommates. I actually knew that because I watched The Answer.
You're right.
That brings back memories. I told you to stop being so overly polite because it made you stick out in class. And yet, you never did.
After passing through the forest, we reach a desolate area with debris scattered about. Could this have been the outer wall that surrounded the research site? The entire thing has collapsed and it's been overtaken by wild plant growth.
So this is the place.
I correlate what I see with the data about the site and confirm that this place is where the combat testing ground had been. We pass through where the gates were and proceed further inside. Oh my goodness, there's no way. Darren, let's go! Chat, I'm about to cry in the club. We walk through the facility for a while when an old white dog runs up to us and barks. I feel as if the dog isn't barking at us to warn or frighten us away, but is more welcoming. Maybe even greeting us.
A dog?
I try to match the dog to the data I have regarding Yakushima, cross-referencing appearance, attempting to match vocal recording.
Snowy?
Huh? Do you know this dog?
No, not as such.
I quickly find a record of this dog. There's no doubt that this dog is Snowy, the same animal that my sister made friends with. He's still okay after all these years.
He appears to be the dog my sister became attached to in the past. It seems he can tell that I'm like her.
Huh?
Snowy wags his tail and comes over to happily nuzzle me. He appears to be welcoming me, though we'd never actually met before. I can't communicate clearly with him the way I can with Koromaru-san. Still, his actions are easy enough to understand. I crouch down and gently pet him.
It would appear that this place and what happened here are part of my own roots after all.
What do you mean?
In the past, I thought that my ability to communicate with animals was just something that I could do. It didn't seem like the people at the lab had deciphered dog language, and even then, I doubted that such an ability was necessary for a weapon. I had thought it mysterious that I was capable of doing so, but it seems that my sister can do the same thing.
Huh. So are you saying that you inherited that function from Labras?
It's not really a function, per se.
I stop petting Snowy and stand up before taking a sweeping look around the area. Piles of debris, both large and small, are scattered about. The early summer sun shines down upon us.
It's probably something that was slowly nurtured among the 5th generation units that were housed here. Behavioral traits, like having interest in things besides missions, get passed on. And then, interest in animals. And then, the ability to communicate.
I see.
After a long line of inherited system feedback, my sister gained that ability, and I, in turn, gained it from her. The reason I have a special rapport with dogs, out of all animals, is most likely because of that process.
Wow, that's pretty deep. If it goes that far, then you're right. It's not just some function that you were intended to have. It's more like a wish.
Yes.
I crouch down once more and pet Snowy again. After that, I begin clearing away the mossy rubble that has been left unattended for so long. Snowy happily runs around the area that has been cleared of rubble.
Still, for the ones before Labras who had hearts or wishes, it might be a bit sad that this place is left like this.
Just as Yukari-san says, the carelessly scattered rubble under this clear, beautiful sky only emphasizes the loneliness of this place. Snowy barks once and runs through a small hole in a passage blocked by debris, then barks again as if motioning us to follow him. We see a shimmering yellow-green light shining through the hole he had passed through.
Huh? What's that?
I move aside more debris to make a hole large enough for a person to pass through. What we find on the other side is... oh, wow.
Wow, it's super pretty here. What is this place?
Aw, this is nice. I like that. There's a tall cylindrical structure that looks like a greenhouse reaching high above us. It seems this area was once indoors, but the ceilings have long since collapsed. This structure stands directly under the blue sky. The clear cylinder has literally acted as a greenhouse, allowing the area inside to grow lush green grass, trees, and vibrant flowers. Even birds and butterflies flit about inside. This place is something like a paradise out of a children's book. But these are the remains of the anti-shock chamber, where Labras and the other units of her model had undergone battle tests.
There are many plants here that only grow far to the south of this latitude. This building's windows seem to have coincidentally formed a greenhouse.
I take a closer look around and notice a large sword stuck into the ground in the center of the room. The unit that used this weapon is thought to have been destroyed, but the sword remains here unchanged. Aw, didn't 24 use the sword? Chat, I'm gonna tear up. I'm gonna be crying in the club.
The number 024 is stamped into this. It may have belonged to a unit that fought here.
I'm gonna be crying in the club!
Oh, I see. It's kind of hard to believe that this place was once such a nightmare.
Once such a nightmare. As far back as my memories go, it's not wrong to say that this place was just as Yukari-san describes it. And the way this room is now, it may be a fitting tribute to my sisters who fell here within this very chamber. The large blade here is more than half covered with the soft green moss, and small birds are using it as a perch.
Hey, I guess let's ask Mitsuru-senpai to keep this place like it is.
Yukari-san.
And why don't we bring everyone else here from time to time? Let's bring Labras next time, too.
One of my favorite things about the epilogues is these beautiful, like, images of the characters at the end. It's really great. I love it. I nod. My power is your power. That's why I'll never forget you all. As the last of the anti-shadow suppression weapons, I will fulfill my duty to protect my companions and my sister, protect humanity, and create a future with your memories within me.
I'm glad I came here.
I feel happiness in the depths of my heart and take a step forward. I raise my voice as loud as I can so it echoes throughout this entire chamber.
Everyone, thank you.
The chirping of the birds and the sound of the waves echo on forever. That one was beautiful. That one was great. Is this Ken? A few days after the case was resolved, I stand before a gravesite. The marker is still new and clean.
We finally met. I'm sorry it took me so long to come.
I thought it was gonna be Ken going to see Shinji or his mom, but it's Labris seeing the girl who was the base of her personality. Chat, I'm gonna cry in the club again! They're gonna have to mop the club floors because I've cried on them so much! My goodness, I've gotta get a sad emote ASAP. We're definitely getting a sad emote, like, as soon as I can. Some of my memories are those from another machine like me, Unit 024. She and I were in the same production generation. Some of those memories are of a girl. Mitsuru-san and her people aided me in finding that girl and finding out who she was. The first word in her records after her name, deceased. Mitsuru-san was apologetic when she told me about this, but I wasn't surprised. The girl in my memory had been in a hospital room. That's why, in my heart, I was kind of expecting things to turn out this way.
You know, there's a bunch of stuff I wanted to say, and I don't know where to start now. But thanks so much for giving me life.
No words come back to me from the gravestone. I didn't make it in time.
I have a younger sister, and I've got companions and friends too. Because you wished for it, I have a happy life now. But there's nothing I can do to repay you. Mommy, there's someone here.
As I was standing still, a boy approaches me and looks up with curiosity. A woman, apparently his mother, follows him and bows to me. She's holding a bouquet of flowers. It seems this family has come to visit this girl's grave.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you, this girl's family?
Oh no, it's just my boy has the same illness as the girl who's here.
Yukari! I look at the boy. He does seem thin, but he otherwise doesn't appear to be in poor health.
The girl here agreed to submit to a great many examinations when she was young. Because of that, the doctors learned a great deal about her disease. And it's thanks to her sacrifice that my little boy is still alive today. He can even go to school.
She tells me more about her son and then explains that they come to visit the girl's grave to thank her. Chat, I'm gonna friggin' lose it. I'm gonna friggin' lose it, chat. After they lay the bouquet on the grave, the boy and his mother stand silently for a moment. When they leave, I'm alone in front of the grave once more. She dreamed of being useful to the world, and that wish has come true. I know she would have wanted to see the results of how she helped people, but in the end, she never could. Then I've
found something I can do. Hey, can I call your mom?
I'm so upset that Labris is probably never gonna show up in like a Persona game or spin-off or anything ever again. It actually makes me furious. Atlus, you cowards! I don't care if it's another arena game or another spin-off where they all come together or whatever. I don't care. Bring her back. This is one of the best Persona characters ever. Easily top 10. I will carry on your dream, my mother, and protect the world where all the lives you saved reside. Just as you wished for my happiness, I will wish for the happiness of all humans, and will do what I can to protect them. I'll do it to the very best of my ability, as a Shadow Operative. There was a Persona 5 arena plan, but nothing came of it. Maybe, if we're lucky, if we truly hope and believe, and if Ultimax had enough sales, Atlus, in their infinite love of money, will revisit the idea of a Persona 5 arena.